So, I guess maybe I just don't fit in with the 20 somethings. What is it, millennials? I can't. Sorry, I just cannot congratulate North Korea on the potential of them having nuclear weapons. I tried. I mean, I really I tried to. I don't want to bring them down. I don't want to rain on their parade and all that kind of stuff. And I want to be I want to be the type of person who's uplifting and encouraging. But I just I can't get to the point of saying giving them congratulatory concessions. Maybe someday, when I've grown as a person, someday when I can look beyond my prejudices and my racism, because after all, North Korea, because they're North Koreans, they shouldn't be allowed to have any type of weaponry whatsoever, let alone nuclear weapon. So someday when I've grown past my racism, when I've grown past my bigotry, when I've grown up inside as a full functioning and fully fledged grown human being, then and only then will I actually fully be able to understand the celebratory nature that this announcement was earlier this week about North Korea admitting, or at least trying to attempt to admit, that they launched and tested successfully a nuclear device of massive destructive power. And until I become that type of wonderful human being, then I won't be able to do it. I just have to grow. I have to be able to grow inside. I have to be able to let go of all my preconceived notions of what the North Korean government is like. They're not dictators and thugs and criminals and evil people. They're just misunderstood. And I, as a black man, should understand that. Should I not? I should have, but I just can't get over my bigotry at this moment. So I will have to sit in a corner and meditate daily while drinking wheatgrass, asking the Yoda and the Gaia to forgive me and give me wisdom, and to help my spirit and my soul to grow to such a point where I can overcome this outer shell of hatred. I can only meditate that someday I will be able to honestly look Jimmy Kimmel's cameraman in the eye and say, congratulations. But that day is not today, because I cannot. I have not grown enough. And I am sorry. WND.com. Iraqi is reporting Iraqi refugees arrested in U.S. on terror charges. Governor urges Obama not to compromise safety of what? So, hey, we're supposed to let in all these. We're supposed to know what they are, right? We know. Hey, you can't keep these people out. That's not what America's about. America's about letting its enemies into its own country and letting them loose on American streets, so these folks can wreak havoc on the rest of us. I mean, that's what America is all about. Two men born in Iraq but living in the United States as refugees were arrested in Houston and in Sacramento by law enforcement officials, as they would say here in New England, who were involved in an ongoing investigation into terrorism. Oh, but wait, no, that's politically incorrect. Can't say terrorism. They were into. It was an ongoing investigation into workplace violence. That's it. Yeah. Workplace violence. The suspects were. Did they have jobs anyway? By the way, I mean, it's for workplace violence to occur in a workplace. Don't you actually have to have a job, or can you just walk? Can you be unemployed and just walk into a place of business and work? And is that workplace? Does that count as workplace violence? By the way, I'm really legitimately. I'm not, because you never know when it comes to the left what their definitions really are, because their definitions are like their sex. It's fluid. I mean, however it fits at the moment is what the definition of the word is. So workplace violence. What is that exactly? I mean, do you have to work there for it to be workplace? But what if you don't work there? Is that still workplace? Well, it happens at work, but not their work, not the perpetrator. It's not the perpetrator could work someplace. What if the perpetrator works someplace else? Is that still workplace? I try to figure this stuff out for you folks because, I'm a curious person. I'm curious by nature, but I really want to know. I really do. I don't know. I mean, I admit when I don't know something. I don't know exactly what workplace violence is. I do not know the liberal definition of it. I don't know what it is. I don't know when is it not considered workplace violence when it's in a work environment. I don't know. I wish I knew. I'm trying to learn, but nobody's telling me so. But I try. But anyway, the suspects were identified by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Sacramento as AWS, Oz Mohammed Yunus Al-Jayab, Al-Jayab, A-L-J-A-Y-A-B, who happens to be 23. And by the Department of Justice as Omar Faraj Saeed Al-Harden, 24. So a 23 and a 24-year-old Iraqi refugee. Let me guess, they were single too, right? Now, Al-Jayab is a Palestinian who came to the United States from his birthplace of Iraq in 2012 as a refugee. Well, he was in Iraq. Between November 2013 and January 2014, Al-Jayab allegedly reported on social media that he was in Syria fighting with various terrorist organizations, including Ansar al-Islam, a designated foreign terrorist organization since 2004. Authorities said the news outlet reported that he returned to the United States on January 23, 2014, and settled in Sacramento, California. Hey, I'm going to assume, Sacramento, you literally just dodged a bullet. I'm not being facetious on this. Here you have this 23-year-old Palestinian Iraqi refugee of fighting age, of radicalization age. He claims that he was doing something that, would get an American arrested immediately. And yet he gets to come back into the country and settle in Sacramento. How does that make any sense? Think about that for a second. He's not a citizen, but he gets to tout all the stuff that he claims to be doing over there in the fight for Islam. And then he gets to actually re-enter the United States and settle in an American city. Over a year goes by before the feds catch up and say, hey, you're under arrest. How much damage do you think he's done in that year since he's been back from whence he came? Now, he's just one of thousands. He's one of thousands and thousands more that Barack Hussein Obama wants to bring into the United States for one reason or another. I don't. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, folks. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And, it's beyond the support of supporting, trying to being a human being. It's way beyond that. This is just, this is beyond insane. This is purposeful. This is purposeful and willful destruction of the American society, the American way of life, and the American people. It's purposeful destruction. I don't know what else to say or call it. But our current president is not the president of the United States. I don't know who. He's not representing the people of this country. He's representing somebody, but it isn't the American people. And we'll be lucky to survive the next 12 months. Speaking of 12 months, are you wanting to say no to your health insurance and not be penalized with a mandated tax under the Affordable Care Act? I mean, all of us are. I mean, nobody wants to pay higher premiums for insurance if we don't have to. Nobody wants to pay a fine for not getting something that is so personal as health coverage. Now, the government wants you to think that you don't have a choice and that you will be severely punished for not having health insurance. Simply because you're alive, it is your obligation, according to this government today, that you pay for somebody else's health care via inflated health insurance premiums and inflated health insurance deductibles. So basically, the government has got you over a barrel. And they have made you a slave to the state, literally. And they're saying either you pay out for your health insurance coverage or you pay up via fines and penalties. That's essentially what's being said. But folks, there is a great way to say hell no. Hell no. And you can still get away with it. Now, they may have, in the future, unless they totally repeal this stupid law, they may close some of these loopholes, especially if you got the wrong president in office. But right now, you can say hell no, and you can still get away with it. But you got to visit www.stopobamacaretaxnow.com to find out more on how you can do it. Again, you got to go to www.stopobamacaretaxnow.com and find out how you can say hell no to the two choices that you have been given, either pay out or pay up, and say hell no and be able to get away with it legally. That's www.stopobamacaretaxnow.com. Get the information, make the decision for yourself, and once you have, you can point your finger on your nose up at the government, and give them the wonderful hello sign. I'm the number one sign with one of your fingers. You can do that still. And get away with it. Well, we still got a little bit of freedom in this country. I mean, there are people who are trying to take. I just saw a survey where most Americans believe that freedom of speech should be hateful speech should be curtailed on college campuses. What the hell is hate speech? I don't know. Nobody can define what hate speech is. It could be construed as being any. Hey, that guy may hurt my feelings because he disparaged my favorite football team because he likes another team. That's hate speech. I mean, that's some people may think I'm being kind of silly about it, but no, that can be construed as what. Look what people are trying to arrest people for in Europe about hate speech. You can't say anything about Muslims now in certain European countries, because that's insightful, that's hateful. You can say anything you want about a Christian, and say even more than that about a Jew, but for crying out, you can't say anything negative, mean, nasty, truthful about a Muslim or an Islamist. I mean, this is just, and now they want to bring that kind of crap to the United States. Yeah, we got the First Amendment. Oh no, let's just amend that, or even basically, hell, they've had fake petitions going around on college campuses about getting rid of the First Amendment, and people have been signing it, which would mean that they would actually be getting rid of their right to even have that petition that they're signing. Stupidity, yes.